Hey guys, what's happening? So, sorry I didn't do a stream last night Sydney time, but had some conversations happening that were taking precedence. And I wanted to talk today about the social contract, and not just in the context of, a heterosexual relationship, not just in the context of a sexual relationship, but in the context of everything. So whether that be workplace, whether that be family, whether that be any given situation. And I guess the point of a contract is to bind people to a certain set of rules. So if you enter into a legal contract, it binds you legally to a certain set of stipulations. If you enter into an employment contract, it binds you by a set of rules that govern your employment and how you are to conduct yourself in that employment, and what your obligations are and what the obligations of your employer are. But probably the most difficult types of contracts are the ones that are social, because it's very rare that those social contracts have a stipulated set of rules, and it's very rare that you actually you can very easily step outside the lines of what's expected of you, or what people would have thought you would have done in that situation. So let me give you the example of my my separation from my ex-wife. Right now, a big part of what happened in that was, well, when my previous friends decided that what I did was not okay with them, they then terminated the social contract with me, and they actually turned around and said, well, you've broken the social contract, you shouldn't have done that, so therefore we are going to dissociate with you, we're never going to speak to you again, and we're going to tell everyone how much of a bad person you are. And that really ruined me, and I eventually did recover, because I had some really close friends that came to me and was like, hey, look, you haven't broken the social contract with me, and I don't think that they should have broken that contract with you, even though they think you broke it with them. And the way that they went about breaking that contract was the wrong thing to do. So, obviously we've all had situations in the past where we've had friends that have, turned and separated themselves from us because we've broken their side of the social contract that they perceive. Now, let's talk about relationships, right? I want to talk about a specific example of a situation that I came across, and it was basically where someone had separated from their ex-girlfriend, but had still kept in touch because they were on good terms, and then they were seeing someone new, and they wanted to make sure that ex-girlfriend of theirs that was basically in a good place, because she'd been in a bit of a troubled place, and she was progressing personally, and he didn't want to set her back to where she had been at, because he could see she was doing so well, but at the same time, through that contact, there was still an ongoing I guess sexual chemistry, which had not yet been broken from when they'd originally separated from the relationship. So I guess things just got, from what I can ascertain, things got kind of messy, and in the end, the ex-girlfriend, confronted the guy who was in the relationship and said, well, how long have you been in this relationship for? And he came clean, said roughly about X amount of time, and then she was like, well, you have to tell her that you've been seeing me. It's like, well, what are the ramifications of that? And this guy was like deeply depressed. Like, he was on the edge, you know. And I guess the relationship with this new girl he'd gotten into was had really helped him a lot. And the fallout or the blowback of that being broken, I guess, if you want to call it that, or, you know, that relationship being dissolved as a result of everything being basically out in the open, would be, you know, quite horrific, not just for that person, but for everyone involved, including, you know, friends and, you know, other people that you know, are involved as in stakeholders, like friends of these people and whatnot. So it's very, and basically the person who this guy was previously seeing had said to him after all this went down that, you know, honesty is my top thing, and, you know, you have to be honest. It's like, well, I could totally understand where, you know, the previous girlfriend was coming from. And I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, and I guess my question is, whose social contract has been broken here, and who are the implementers, right? Because the person who was previously seeing him says honesty is my top policy, and you should have been honest with me. And I would agree with that. I would agree that would have been fair. You know, he shouldn't have done what he did, but it wasn't from a bad place. You know, he just didn't have the resolve to do what had to be done, I guess. So is the social contract with the new partner broken based upon the social contract that was perceived by the old partner? Is it the right of the old partner to dictate the terms of the social contract in the new relationship? And I've just been doing a lot of thinking about this, because, you know, it goes really deep, and, you know, I guess everything's interconnected. You know, realistically, I broke the social contract with my friends. You know, when I went through separation with my ex-wife, and they attacked me, right? But they then interfered in the social contract that I had with my wife by intervening and getting involved, you know. And I'm not pointing fingers, and I'm not doing wrong or rights here, but, you know, whenever you've got situations where there are difficult social situations, I really think that, you know, people need to look at the far-reaching ramifications. Like, when everything went down with my ex-wife and my friends turned on me, you know, like, I had so much dirt on my friends. Like, I could have boomeranged it straight back at them and said, well, you know, you've inflicted some damage on me by doing and saying what you've said, so I'm going to get back at you. But does getting back at that person really solve anything? And, you know, I think we need to really focus as men on forgiveness, you know, and also going with our gut. So if we think that something is, well, just as human beings, really, if we think something's not right, we should investigate. And if it's not right, we should say, well, you know, I don't know that I want to come in and run around in a crystal shop like a raging bull. Would it not be better to just exit the crystal shop? Because, you know, most social contracts are essentially a crystal shop. They're easily broken, and they're not easily repaired. But sometimes when there's something in the crystal shop that gets broken, you might need to just say, well, maybe I shouldn't have put that there. Or, if you've broken one of the crystals on purpose or unintentionally, you should say, well, it's my mistake that I broke that crystal. I can't unbreak it, but what can I do to I guess make amends? Can I get you a new crystal? Can I help to rearrange the store so that it's better than before? What can we do? So, a video I did a very long time ago, but after I'd done it, for whatever reason, there was a glitch with the YouTube app, and I went to delete a double up of another video, and it deleted that one instead. And I must redo this video. And it says, expectations are the breeding grounds of resentment. And what I mean by that is, if you expect something from someone and they don't deliver on it, then it's quite possible that you may end up feeling resentment towards that person, which is clearly not a good thing. And the only way that you can really overcome that resentment is to say, well, why did this person do this? Was it genuinely from a malicious place? Why did I expect this of this person? Were my expectations realistic? And if they were realistic and they've stepped way outside the framework of the way that they would typically act, and I would have expected differently from them, what's actually going on with them? Are they suffering from depression? Are they hurting from something? Are they lonely? Are they miserable? Like, what's really going on there, Because there's a lot we don't talk about when it comes to this sort of stuff. Resentment is what causes hatred. It's what causes people to turn against their family and friends. It's what causes people to just become bitter about life. Resentment is what drives a wedge between you and those you love and care about. Love, care about, or both. Whatever the case may be. You can't undo mistakes, right? There's no time machine. It doesn't exist. What you can do is you can realize the mistakes. You can realize why you shouldn't have made that mistake. Right? Sometimes it's not a mistake, right? Sometimes you've done something and you're like, well, this isn't a mistake, but other people think that you fucked up. Maybe those people are people you shouldn't be hanging around. But if you have screwed up, it's really time to own it, and own it in a way where you're not taking responsibility for something you haven't done. Own it in a way where you can say, look, I understand why you're angry about this. This is why I did this. Or, you know what? I fucked up. And this is what I plan to do about it. In this particular individual that I'm referring to, obviously won't mention him by name, because I have a lot of friends that watch this channel, and I don't want I want to protect and respect his privacy, obviously. Just thinking about the hurt that he's going through right now. He told me he's going to go and see a counsellor. Obviously not a feminist counsellor, because that's just a bad idea. But go and see someone who can help him unpack what's really going on, because he really doesn't have anyone else to turn to. And to be put into a situation where he's given an ultimatum to either release the person that he's in the relationship with, to salvage the relationship with salvage the friendship with the previous girlfriend, or to not come clean with his current girlfriend and to then essentially have, I guess, both the current girlfriend turn on him, but have the previous girlfriend be there for him, but him then resent the previous girlfriend for giving him the ultimatum, which has forced him to be in this position. It's like that's a really hard situation, a really bitter pill to swallow. So, and you know, this guy's getting on a bit in life. Like, he's sort of at that stage where, you know, he's found someone good, and you know, he's been a little bit messed up, but he knows where he's at now. It's like, how can you know, where do you go from here? It's like you're backed into a corner. Do you, like, what do you do? Do you just sit back and go, oh well, you know, I know I'm right on the edge right now, but fuck it, I don't care, just let my life fall apart? Or does that person then give an ultimatum to the previous girlfriend, even though they are friends? Like, man, shit, man, what do you do? I don't know how I'd handle being in those shoes. Tough call. Anyway, guys, I don't know if you got anything out of this video or not, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on that, because, you know, it's been really really ticking over in my brain. What, you know, what's next for this guy? You know, how do we solve this problem without necessarily, you know, running around like a bull in a crystal shop? You know, how do we have that conversation about social contracts without trying to impose our view on others? So yeah. And Mosley says, sounds like you're conflating the individual relationship with the collectivism often placed by society on people. Each relationship should stand on its own unless agreed in advance. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. I just don't know that. Yeah. Look, my personal thing is, if there's a broken social contract between two people, then terminate the contract between the two people or renegotiate it. But you should never involve other people in your perceived social contract, because you're essentially, by involving other people that aren't a party to you and the direct party that you've got the broken social contract with, by involving that third party, you're essentially creating a new social contract with that third party to which they're not a party. And I don't know that that's necessarily conducive to peaceful outcomes. So I'm just going to get really messy, in my personal view. But, you know, you can't stop people from doing what they're going to do. And, you know, sometimes people will say they won't do something like this, but then, you know, when the emotions get involved, they can turn around and say, well, I am going to do this because, you know, you've hurt me, or whatever the case may be. So, anyway, guys, I'd love to get your thoughts in the comments. So after I finish this live, if you could drop your comments below and let me know what you think. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here for now. Hope to talk to you soon, and I have a good topic for